What's up? Oh, sir, I'm Jacob.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Alicia.
Alicia.
Jacob is what we're talking about.
Yes, sir. So, we noticed that you guys were out here preaching. We're actually Christians. But if you guys are willing, we would love for you to share with us first, like, basically what you guys believe or why anybody should join you guys. We don't want to debate you, but more so we want you to present your gospel to us. But if you would allow us at the end to present our gospel to you. So not
confused with you this way?
No, but just not a debate. Just I would appreciate if you would be willing to share your gospel with me and then to allow me to share my gospel with Jesus.
His gospel with you.
Well, I'm not in objection to that whatsoever.
Okay.
He's giving a discourse. If he wants to take a break and we can do
Yeah,
it.
definitely. We can. We're here to tell people the truth of this Bible. So yeah, we can take a break and talk about all of that. Yes, sir.
All right. What religion is this?
It's not a religion. Not a religion. We are the Israelites, and we have obedience to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord given in the Bible, and the faith of Mashiach Yahushua, whom the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ. That's what we do. Okay. When there's no name for no religion given in the scriptures. No, the Father did not give Moses a name for a religion.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all man. Come here. Matter of fact, watch this. Let's talk about this. Christians, come here. Christians, come here. This is perfect.
I got this on the other side. This will be answer your question, bro.
Okay, you gotta understand where religion came from. Okay, take a look at this sign. This side. That's just let me get the camera in there too. Yeah. Now, if you take a look at the camera, because we're gonna get all this on here. Okay.
Yeah,
if you take a look, not really to that. We're here to deliver the message. We're here to and give us a couple minutes. You'll see. Okay. Now, what we have here, because a lot of people don't even know the origins of their religion. Okay. The denomination, I should say. Denomination is a religion, okay, and they tend to separate themselves based upon certain teachings, right? There's just doctrinal differences between denominations. But did you know they all came out of Roman Catholicism? Did you know that? All your denominations? I said you are aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
I know that Joseph Smith was the founder of the Mormon Church.
Okay.
I don't believe Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, Seventh-day Adventists, or any of those guys would qualify as Jesus followers, because I do know they teach erroneous teachings. But I'm sorry, I don't want.
No. This is we're men. We're having a dialogue.
Yeah,
this is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
So yeah, I definitely would not ascribe to any of their beliefs. Charles Fox Parham and the Pentecostal Church. Well, the one problem that I would see, not like an insult or in any way, but I see it says Baptist religion, Pentecostal religion. I would highly agree with you that Mormonism is its own religion. I would agree that the Jehovah's JWs, they're their own religion. I believe Seventh-day Adventists is a bit iffy, but ultimately they do kind of lean on the side of another religion. Not exactly. However, as far as Baptist, Pentecostal, Presbyterian, all these different groups, they're not necessarily different religions. However, you did mention denominationalism, right? So there are different denominations or different groups within Christianity that follow different teachings, just kind of like the Israelites as well. There are different groups in the Israelites. I know some lean more to certain beliefs than others, some lean to others.
That's true.
So
That's absolutely true.
It's not necessarily different religions, right? But they are different groups that they center around certain truths. They might have fundamental core values that they agree upon. So you might meet another that's part of a different school, right? But you might not necessarily say, oh, you're not an Israelite. You forget I'm the only true one. But then there are others that are completely different, correct? So there's some that you'd say, okay, we have the same fundamental core values and beliefs, but there are others that would sway too far to where it's not even the same thing anymore, correct?
Now, before you go on, I like the dialogue. What is your Christian denomination?
My Christian church, my church is non-denominational.
Okay, that is a denomination. Okay, that is. Israelites, we do research. I don't know if I have it in my bag about that particular thing. I have a lot of things in my bag, but when you look up the subject of denominations, the Bible scholars, if you will, the way you want to call it, religious leaders that are around the world will tell you that denomination is actually a denomination. Now, what you have to figure out is, where did your pastor get his doctrine from? I'm just not for you personally. I'm not,
okay.
no, because like for instance, there's a pastor. I'm gonna say the name of the church. I'm gonna edit out the video.
Yeah.
Church, non-denominational, but I know he's a Baptist because he grew up in Chicago. That's where I'm from. Okay, so I know most of the people in Chicago, black, are Baptists. They ain't no Pentecostal, none. So I know his doctrine. I know where it came from, right? If you ask them where they went to, where they got their degree, if they got one, that's another way you're gonna find out where it's coming from.
You know,
Now, these people,
true child of God, you just gotta follow the King James version of the Bible. That's the way how to
you
get
can-
saved.
you can-
You gotta be obedient to the word.
okay,
100%.
you gotta understand. I'm gonna help you out. Okay, there are different categories of Bibles. Okay, the King James version is a word-for-word translation. That's the reason why Israelites hold true to it. Now, when you look at NIV, NLT, GNT, those number one, two things about that. Number one is those translations were just created in the 1990s and 2000s. Research, we do research. Look at those denominations. I mean those translations. They were created in 1990s and 2000s. They did not come before that. Now, the other thing you got very important to know is that those Bibles are also called, they're not word-for-word translations. NLT, NIV, GNT, they're not word-for-word translations. They are what is called a thought-for-thought translation. Sometimes those Bibles can be valuable in some understanding. I won't dismiss them all right? Because I used to do that. And all Israelites used to do that until we started reading some of this stuff. Like I have a GNT, the Good News Bible, which is a thought-for-thought, tells you quite a bit an understandable context that everything's to the Israelites. Okay, that's what it says in there. That's why the Bible is very good to use. But KJV, people confuse that. That's just the problem. So,
if you know anybody needs to go to rehab, that place is amazing, man.
if you
that place.
now, unfortunately, in the Christian church, you don't get to do what we're doing right now, right? You don't get to ask during service questions of the pastor, right?
Well, yeah,
I know you have Bible study, stuff like that. I get it, but you can't do it during the service. Right now, this is church.
I could afterward, like for example, Jesus, correct? Jesus, he'd be teaching. There'd be certain services where he'd be in the synagogue. Then there'd be time where he'd be alone with his disciples. His disciples would surround him. They'd ask him deeper, probing questions, and he'd answer and interact. Same with my pastor. Like it really depends. Like during the service, of course, for the sake of getting the sermon across and delivering the message, yeah, there's not so much. Sometimes he does actually open it up to that though in teaching services. But there's a difference between like an actual like a sermon and then a Bible study.
Because to summarize, what we're really getting at is he's there to deliver a message. He's not really there at that particular time to answer questions. That's really what you're saying. I get it. I understand that. I understand. That's the Christian format. That's the Christian format. Now,
I wouldn't characterize it because then that makes it seem as though they're discouraging to questions. Because me especially.
No, not saying that.
No, it's okay. Just
not saying
quick,
that.
I'll make it quick. Like for me, I've always been a very like skeptical person, very inquisitive. I'd question a lot of things.
Yeah.
In Bible studies, I'd frustrate my Bible study leader. Can you get my keys, please? While I'm talking to him, please. Thank you so much. So like I'd for sure ask a lot of questions. The Bible study leader would get frustrated with me. At times he didn't even want me to be there. But that was his personality, because there's other Bible study leaders and others. Everybody has a different personality.
Right.
Even I'm sure there are Israelites that might get frustrated when people ask certain questions, just like anybody. But then there are of course others that are more open.
To be honest with you, really is we just don't like scoffers, and we get it that we're preaching a message that the majority of Christianity does not accept. We understand that. The problem is that, like I sat here and talked to one Christian, he said, okay, I heard he parked over there, and he came over here, told me he parked over there, came over here and said, look, I just want to share with you my take on it. Okay, well, but we're not here to hear your take on it like that. We're trying to reach a certain group of people, okay? Yeah. We're trying to reach a group of people. Now, Christianity is touted as for all people, right? It's to all people. That all people can be saved. All you can do is accept the name of the Messiah, right? That's the main line of the Christian message.
Yeah.
Right. So now what we understand as Israelites is that actually is not true. Okay. It's everybody cannot be accepted. Okay. That's not in the Bible. What has happened is you had Roman Catholicism. All right. Do you understand what the well? I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna ask you that. I'm gonna just shed the light.
Yeah, go ahead.
Roman Catholicism, the root word of Catholic is universal. Now, that's kind of prophetic. Because what they did when they took over and read the Hebrew scriptures, because we know those are Hebrew scriptures, right? And then we had a portion of the Bible written in Greek by those very same Israelites, okay? And then what happened? Somebody, the Europeans, got a hold of it and they used it to their advantage. And then they started teaching everybody their version. And I have the history on it. I have a book called The Dogs of God. Look that book up, The Dogs of God. It is about how the Pope at that particular time used Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand in Spain to further Roman Catholicism by doing what? Kicking out all the black Israelites, they say Jews, but it's black Israelites out of the land, and the Moors, who of course of them were melanated people as well, so that they could further their version of religion called Roman Catholicism. And in that book, they keep flip-flop between Catholic and Christian. They say both. Now, which one is it? I mean, are you Catholic or you Christian? Which one is it? But you have to discern. What's happening is it's called what we would call the hijack. Okay, they hijack the scriptures, which is already prophesied in the Bible. All right, that the Gentile. That's the reason why the Lord says in the Psalms, "Who are you to take my covenant in your mouth?" That's why it says that. Who is that? That's not the Israelites. It's the Gentiles. Okay, so Christianity is as you can see, you will not find a Christian religion that was not created by a European man. You won't find it. All of them were created by European men. That's the evidence. Now, if I were to tell you the name, it wouldn't really connect. But when I give the image, you know that those are Europeans. All right. So, if I don't know where you want to go next, but
quick, I'm not gonna try to derail you too much. But real quick, I do believe there is a very old Christian church that was actually started by Ethiopians. There's a very old, well, I don't remember what exactly they would call it, but there's a definitely very ancient
Ethiopians, and according to the Bible, Ethiopians are Gentiles too, so go ahead.
Oh, you wouldn't consider them as Israelites, Ethiopians?
We have Israel, scattered in all land.
We have, right. Go ahead, brother, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But we've scattered in all land, so we, in all those countries, including Ethiopia, but Ethiopia is basically a Hamite people, according to the scriptures. And Genesis chapter 10 lists all of the Hamite nations. Israelites are Shemitic, so when they, even though they may have churches that are there, they're still considered heathen. However, there are Israelites within the country of Ethiopia, as well as all countries according to the Bible.
Thank you. So, as far as I understand, so I just want to make sure that I understand you correctly. So what you guys are basically telling me is that you guys believe that the teaching that everybody could be saved is false. That's what you guys believe. You guys believe that only Israelites could be saved. You believe that that Israelites are scattered all throughout the world, and if I remember correctly,
we don't believe this is what the Bible says. Okay,
I understand,
the Bible says all of those things.
For the purposes of what we're talking about, that is what you believe.
I give a response.
So, so you guys believe Israelites are scattered throughout the world. They are, from what I've talked about with other Israelites, they are, let's say, black people, Hispanics as well too, right? Correct.
And by the way, a note on that. Hold on, that a note on that is the fact that if you look at Deuteronomy 28:64, okay, it's not just the. I'm sorry, that's not the one. That's not the one. That's in my other thing. It's right. It's actually on here. Isaiah 14:11.
Yeah.
Okay. It talks about the other areas. When the reason why we're saying that here is because we're in America, in the Western Hemisphere, and these are the ones that we have identified through looking at the prophecy. We know that there's Israelites over there, and that's in Isaiah, that chapter of Isaiah, okay? That there are other lands over there in the east where Israel is, all right? There are Israelites over there too. And it also says where the Israelites going to be saved from, including Egypt, all right? But just because, I think you mentioned Ethiopians because they got Ethiopian so-called Jews in the state of Israel. I think that's why you mentioned that.
Not only, well, no, not specific. That is also another thing. That's not specific to what I was talking about.
Okay.
I meant
but let me say something about, because we always go to the scriptures. Now, it says right here about Ethiopians in Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 12. Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword. I will stretch out my hand against the north to destroy Assyria and will make Nineveh a desolation. Okay, so Ethiopians are going to be subjugated to the Israelites in the kingdom to come too. So now we do have Israelites among them, But all Gentiles can be subject to the Israelites.
I'm so sorry. I just have another very important question to ask.
I got an answer to your first one.
Oh,
You asked your second.
which one?
This one is just when you asked about the Israelites. Now, we talked about throughout the Old Testament consistently. All the prophets who wrote all the books, all the characters, God called them out as his chosen people, all Old Testament. But when you look at the New Testament, this is from Romans chapter 9 and answer your question about our claim. And this is Romans chapter 9. Verse 4 says, who are Israelites? So it's about to explain who the Israelites are. To whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants. And the covenants, because we talk about the new covenant and old covenants and other covenants. But who it pertains to? The Israelites. And it says, and the giving of the law. So the law was given to the Israelites.
Can I see it real quick? Because
Absolutely.
Is it okay if I hold it? Because I remember that piece of
Let
scripture.
me finish reading it.
Okay,
and the service of God and the promises. So the promises, the services to the Most High, and the glory and the covenants. Let me go.
Are you talking about the children of God? Are you looking for that? That's in Romans 9.
Are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came, who is over all. God bless forever. So we're talking about a fleshly people, because Christ came from, you know which tribe he came from?
Who?
You know what?
Judah?
Yes,
Jesus.
exactly. You know Judah is part of Israel, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so Israelite. So that's who, so to answer your question, it's not as though the Israelites don't have a biblical significance. The question is, what do the others have? If this is saying the Israelites have the covenants, what do you have? You looking for the new covenant?
The new covenant?
Yes.
Oh, I believe Jesus instated it.
Okay, so, but if the covenants are to the Israelites, are you Israel?
Well, that's the thing. Jesus said that not all, just because they're of the blood of Abraham, they're the children of Abraham, correct? That
Romans
the Bible
9
says
breaks
that
it all
those
down.
who are of the faith of Abraham are also the children of Abraham, correct?
No.
Because it also says not everybody who is like physically an Israelite is an Israelite. It does say that circumcision does not avail anything,
Okay.
correct? Unless there's circumcision.
You're throwing a lot out there, and we can break all that down. Like the reason why it says that everybody's not of Israel that is of Israel, there's two ways you can understand that. Number one is you're talking about the land. Not everybody that is in the land of Israel is actually Israel. You can take it that way. And number two, it could be that you have a disobedient part of Israel and you have a repentant part of Israel. All right. The reason why the people in the land in the first place during the time of the one that the world calls, I ain't saying his name, the J word, okay, is because those were the ones who were committed. They were repentant. Okay, but you still had some wicked ones around among them in the Sadducees and Pharisees, right? And the Essenes, because it wasn't just them, and the Sakari. It's a whole bunch of different groups, right? They believe a lot of little different things. But the Sadducees and Pharisees were led by the Edomites, who were the Herodians. Okay, some of them weren't Israelites. Some of them were actually Edomites. Okay, so the all of Herod line was Esau, was the white man. Okay, all of them. If you look at the Herodian line in a Bible encyclopedia, it tells you. Matter of fact, if you go to Blue Letter Bible and look up Herod and then go to the definition, it runs down the whole thing. I don't think I had a printout in there, but I keep that so people talk about Herod, I like to bring it out. I think I have it stuck in my Bible. I had them stuck in my Bible.
One thing that I want to say I appreciate about you guys very much so is I've talked with others before, and they were definitely not as nice as you are.